MidWest F1. Of course, every week starts on Wednesday, or Thursday if you're in Australia, but Wednesday for North America. I'm getting myself finalized and ready to go here as what you can see in Hanoi, Vietnam. Now I was just kind of quickly doing the math, and we have potential. Actually, I imagine that we're going to be able to be on this track at least once more for the end of the F1 2020 game, which of course F1 2020 game, but last year, or this game actually, F1 2020 was released in July, and then we started this league just right at the end of July, so we do have one more season left after this. So I was just kind of running the quick math there, and we should be able to finish one more season before we get into F1 2021 next season, and where that game will not have Vietnam in the list of tracks. At least I don't think so, because they did take out a Hockenheim, as it wasn't on the calendar, and added the two tracks that were going to be put on the calendar, which of course was Hanoi and Vietnam. So we'll have to see if they may decide to keep them in the game for next season. But I'll get my track map up here quickly. Sorry, but Spin and Win, you see, is retired because he has a qualifying ban. This may be only the second time. No, I think this is the third time we've actually been at Hanoi. We were there very early on in Div 1 in Season 1. But it's a technical circuit, at least through the Sector 3 there. Sector 2 is virtually all pace. You got this big swooping left-hander. 4 turns make up that. JC retires, unfortunately. We welcome everyone in. And yeah, JC's confirmed that he did bin it. Sector 2, like I said, being this very long straight stretch, I would like to have the DRS a little bit sooner than how late it is into it. It'd offer up more passing, but I think they want to make it as close as possible into that hairpin of turn 11. We are continually on with what is primitive through this entire first lap. Oh, as he gets a little piece of the wall there, might drop down, but looks like Kenny must have gotten a bigger piece of the wall as he's really moved down the grid. There you go, Primitive in 13th. Kenny is retired as well, so both Carlins unfortunately retiring. The two Primas up at the top there, HSVDT and Jacko seemingly holding on to that. Might see a couple position changes around the last 2 turns there. Hotspot and the Garris Vacker up there as this race, whopping around with Janet to win it, but coming home with pole will be HSVDT in the Prima. Primitive gets disqualified late on. That's gotta hurt. ZGS and Chunky Corgi are just gonna come over with a time, but looks like the 2 Primas are gonna start 1-2. As well as a High Tech is in 3, and then the 2 Arts in 4 and 5, followed by the Solo Virtuosi and Ray in 6th, Menace in 7th, Super Ninas 8th, Money Matt changing up his flag once again in 9th, Spaceman in 10th beside his other Dams teammate. The first, the MP Motorsports in the tier in 11th, the first of the BWTs in Tim Lee in 12th, AE Dalty in the second MP Motorsport, as well as A78 Corvette, the second BWT in 14th. ZGS is the last to set a time. On to the disqualifications as well as the no times from crashing out. We go Primitive in 16th, It's Heavy in 17th, Chucky Corgi in 18th, Kenny 19th, his teammate JC 20th, and Spin and Win in 21st. So a lot of pace at the back of the pack here. So gonna have to see how much they're gonna get slowed up with the pack and this street circuit. Now this of course would throw in 4 street circuits into the F1 calendar if everything were to be normal, but with COVID and all, that is not the case. So we only have none, actually. There was no race. There's no street circuit races this year, as I'm trying to catch myself back up of what was 2020. So yeah, street circuits, of course, are Singapore, Monaco, and I'm blanking, as I literally just had it. Oh, Baku in Azerbaijan, my favorite track too. And then, as well as this was also going to be a street circuit in the 2020 calendar, but of course, like I said, with COVID, that was not the case. The rain is hitting us, and hitting us hard, so street circuit as well as rain, so this is going to be very fun. A lot of tight corners, especially around that final one in turn 21, so expect to see a lot of damage kind of being hit through there. The slalom in sector 3 there is a very fun one when you get it right, but can also be very treacherous when you get just one corner wrong, because it'll throw your whole rhythm off for the entire thing. As well as that S's in Japan, they kind of do that to you as well. I mean, all of them, you really need to, as soon as you miss one, then you're going to miss them all. You can't make up that time lost as well as the racing line. But oh no, Super Ninas is lagged out of the session. Hopefully we can get him back in quickly here. Looks like one of the cars at the back of the pack, maybe ZGS that may have been, got a really good jump. Tricky Corgi does not. Hotspot gets an overtake into turn 1 over HSVDT, and oh, looks like HS gets tapped and pushed along, and now he's letting all the cars go by. You see a couple of BWTs as well as the 2 Campos. We'll get right on board with Menace here and take a look at what's happening through turn 2, 3, and 4. Oh, little piece of the wall there. Not sure if that's a full-on safety car or if it's just a virtual. Actually, yeah, that is a full-on safety car right out of the gates. A lot of penalties being handed out here. That is not what you want to see. Very, very early safety car, as I said, coming out. And that's just going to put a damper early on into this race here, even with it being wet. The first of 2 races being featured and then into the sprint. These guys got to go all the way around track just to get behind the safety car to ride behind it for a lap or 2, but we don't have any cars crash out, and this is a little annoying thing in the game sometimes. Spinning wings dropping down the border here. What's going on with him? I'd hate to say it, but he must have spun out somewhere around those big looping left-hand turns there. And unfortunately, he's going to have to take the name spin and lose, not spin and win on this occasion. Now back into 20th place. We'll look quickly at the gap changes. And Kenny looks to have made up the most amount of ground, going from 19th to 10th. Money Matt is up 3 spots. Garrett Smack jumps all the way up into the lead, going from 4th to 1st. Hotspot up to 2nd. Menace jumping up 4 onto the last position on the podium. And then Jacko losing out a couple spots, as well as his teammate HSVDT losing out 18 total spots. So not what you want to see off the get-go here. Quite a few drivers are into the pit now, with having that free pit virtually. Not free pit, but a better of time to pit. But who's that slowing up the pack? I think that's 78 Corvette, which is opening up a gap from everyone that's pitting. So I'll have to see if he's going to be able to overtake many of them. There's quite a few drivers behind him even come into the pit, so a lot of damage must have been handed out very early there. But it's still going to stay the same before all the pit stops. JC Blackman moves way up the order. He's found himself into 6th place. All the other drivers are coming out of the pit now. We'll have to see who loses the most positions. Maybe HSVDT can win him back some positions. I'll actually jump on board with him and see kind of the pit battle. Is he going to get stuck in there? Oh my god, what is happening? Okay, now he's being released here. Just gets out in front of Spaceman, so I think gains a position back. But that was kind of painful to witness there. He's going to have quite the work ahead of him here. we're just happy that we can get this race underway here, as we're getting a lot of connection issues earlier when guys were kind of fire up their games. The Codemasters servers seem to have been on the fritz, but luckily everything seemed to have figured itself out about 20 minutes before. Unfortunately, Super Nest keeps lagging out of the session as well. Yes, I completely agree. That was pretty chaotic there. But I thank everyone that's joining us here on your Wednesday night or Thursday afternoon. This is, of course, the first edition of the Midwest F1 League kind of week that we do every week. Oh, 78 Corvette spun out. Looks like he was kind of facing the other way. Let's see if he's going to be able to pick himself back up. He's got a little bit of time. Uh-oh. Okay, that's the best move there. Okay, good. Game would have not have been happy. He was trying to let Tier the Tier go by, but Tier the Tier's giving him the go ahead there. Hanoi is already making it very difficult on quite a few people, but another pit stop. And we'll see how many of these guys are going to serve the penalty. A couple of them are. 78 Corvette still holding on to his. Not sure, I think he drove by the pit. Yes, he did. Does he have damage? He does have some damage on the right side of his wing there, so we'll have to see what's going to happen. It's heavy, does not pit either. The only two that do are ZGS and Kenny. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night as we're coming to live starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Looks like 78 Corvette could really use right half of his front wing there. He's lost quite a bit of it. By quite a bit, I mean nearly all of it. But yeah, be sure to tune in tomorrow night. You can see a couple of our quickest drivers that we have to offer, Mystic Joker as well as Honda. Those two seem to be battling every race. Just kind of looking back at the history of the past three races, Honda's just edged out Mystic for first place in every race, and they are surely battling it out this entire year. We'll see what is left in the battle between those two as well. Can we see if Jacko, who currently sits fourth, will he be able to hold on to second place in the Drivers' Championship with Mystic surely starting to close that gap on him? The third place finish really helps him out last week, but it's going to get tough from here on out as Mystic Joker is going to really start closing that gap. As well as Constructors' Championship stands at 376 for Ferrari and 282 for Mercedes, so the gap is very open there. As well as Renault just fall 1 point back of Mercs for second place, and McLaren are only 11 points back. We have a couple new drivers in Division 1, so be sure to check that out as we can see what they have to offer as well. So a couple of upgrades on the teams, in my opinion, on driver quality, so it's just going to bring everything even tighter together, which is what you want to see. Parity is what makes people excited, so you never know what you're going to get on any given night, and that's what we try and provide you here in the Midwest F1 League, except you got to know who's going to finish 1-2, and that's usually Mystic Joker as well as Honda, so we do as much as we can to kind of provide parity around the rest of the track, but those two always seem to find themselves sitting 1-2 on the podium. Looks like 78 Corvette does come in for a brand new wing. It's going to slot all the way into the back. Super Ninas is kind of in a weird spot there. Where is he on track? He's not getting the best of connection, it looks like. He's all the way back in 21st, but I'm not sure if that's on track position or if that's lag position. So just figuring out the safety car in here. It is in this lap, so even after everyone had chances to pit, some drivers did a double. And that being Kenny and Money Matt having to come in for 2 pit stops from taking some wing damage here. But we're gonna go back into it here, and it looks like the top 10 are only bunched up as of right now. But a couple of drivers are going to be able to close that gap before everyone comes in. Get right on board with Jacko and see what he's going to be able to do. Still showing a yellow track for me, but we are back. Hotspot looking to dive the inside line into turn 1, then swooping around the big right-hander of turn 2, 3, and 4. Gersvac retakes the lead, Menace into second, looking to try and stretch it. But the Gersvac is actually under pressure, or sorry, the Gersvac actually gets an overtake on Hotspot, and now Jacko puts both of them under pressure and gets a really good launch out of the final turn there, as he's looking to go up into second now. Jump back on with Menace here, as you can see a lot of that water spraying up. Jacko goes to the inside line, and oh no, the Gersvac spins out and pinches the other 2 drivers against the wall here. JC Blackley's trying to fight as well for first place, but unfortunately, I believe, yeah, the Gersvac spinning out there and kind of made a choke point for Hotspot, and Menace to try and pull through, and the only one that was able to kind of get through that gap was Jacko. Don't look now, but Tim Lee's in 4th place. Finn and Win and Money Matt look to be getting in a little bit of a tussle there. We'll see if Hotspot's going to take a dive into the inside line of Tim Lee into that hairpin of turn 11. It's not really a hairpin, more of a kind of a switchback type turn. And yeah, Hotspot's going to send it around the inside, but Tim Lee does a good job in defending and gets a really good run out. And now he's going to put pressure on JC Blackley going into turn 13. But oh, what happened there? It looks like Menace just hit the brakes, trying to give a position back. We have a safety car. Oh no, Menace gets a spin and he's going to drop down the grid as well. Money Matt and Jinnit as well spins out, and this rain in the Vietnamese circuit is really wreaking havoc on a lot of these drivers here. It's Heavy, sorry, Kenny getting in a battle. Jacko's open up that lead. Hotspot's trying to make up ground on Tim Lee, as Tim Lee is trying to prove himself as quite the wet weather racer here today. He's going to make it really hard on Hotspot to try and overtake. Tim Lee does a really good job of able to keep solid pace coming around that final turn. I think 23 here in Hanoi. Tim Lee braking early, making sure to take a proper racing line and defense the inside, making it hard for Hotspot. Now Money Matt and ZGS have caught up to the drivers. Looks like Tim Lee may have opened up that room, and Tim Lee unfortunately falls just out of the podium. We'll get right back onto the line and see if he's going to be able to make a move into turn 8, I think that is, or turn 6, sorry. He's into the slipstream, but Hotspot picks up a penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I don't know what's going on with that map. I think they're just going to race this out here. But Tim is keeping some very solid pace here. He's going to be under pressure from Money Matt as well. Tim actually gets a really good run out. I'm actually quite impressed with what Tim Lee's putting in today. ZGS actually getting alongside Money Matt. They're going to kind of hit this tight little right-hander here, and Money Matt's got the inside line. ZGS and him are seemingly matching each other for pace. Money Matt brakes later as ZGS concedes that position and tries to take a cleaner racing line, but Money Matt does a very good job in keeping solid traction throughout the turn. We'll try and jump back on board with Tim Lee, but it doesn't look like anything's going for him there. We have the car spun out. Yeah, it looks like Primitive did spin out and he's going down the grid. We've still got quite a few drivers. Yeah, I don't know. We kind of took a risk with this one, but I think we're just going to have to race it out. The stewards are going to have a little bit of work cut out for them, but this is some stuff happening right now. Tim Lee's currently sitting fourth. He's taking clean racing lines. He's not getting too heavy on the throttle. Does he have the nerves to be able to just cope with the pressure and ride out a couple of pretty solid drivers in Money Matt and ZGS behind him? They're not slouches here in the Midwest F1 League, that's for sure. JC Blackley currently sitting second. He drifts around the corner, and now he's going to be up under real pressure. Hotspot trying to get in the inside line, but JC Blackley is also kind of closing the door. These two are playing a little bit of chicken of getting a little bit too heavy on the throttle as well as not. Now we get a green track. I mean, what were we doing before then? But whatever. We got ZGS trying to work on Money Matt once again. He's going to get alongside him pretty quickly here. Money Matt's trying to break that slipstream. It's heavy, unfortunately, retires in pit. ZGS now alongside Money Matt. Once again, Money Matt inside line. ZGS decides to be the later of the breaker this time. He's going to get fifth place, and Money Matt is under pressure to try and get out of the corner quick, but unfortunately loses a little bit of traction by doing so, and Spin and Win is out of this Grand Prix. You might see him crash out somewhere around this turn here. Tim Lee. Oh no, Tim Lee spun out. Oh, that's not what you want to see. How much wing damage does he have? A decent amount from the looks of it. Still in sixth place. He's going to have to pit. Oh, that hurts. Hotspot once again back on JC Blackley here, trying to get into second place. We'll check the gap and penalties both at 5. We'll check the position movement. Hotspot has held his position as this race is going on. JC Blackley does open up the inside line around this big looping right-hander. Hotspots gets the move done. Now JC's right behind him. Get right on board here. See if JC gets a good run out of that turn, which he does. Now we might have a position change lined up into turn 6 here, opting for the inside line. They're going to have Jacko go right beside him on the other side of the straight there. Already through that big looping left-hander, and Hotspot's not giving way, and he's forcing JC around the outside, and JC's going to try and switch back at even mid-turn, but a tough move, especially in the wet and around that big looping left-hander. Money Matt's going to try and put ZGS under pressure as these two have been battling seemingly the entire race as well, ever since the restart here. And Jinnit sends it around the outside, which turns into the inside on AE Daltoni and gets the move done. Very solid stuff. Kenny looks to be working on HSVDT in a pretty good race, with some high-quality drivers down the grid. HS misses his braking point, now opens the door for Kenny, but it slides and loses control right after the turn and kind of blocks off Kenny, regains. And Money Matt looks to get a move on ZGS, just missed that one unfortunately. But JC Blackley is making ground on Hotspot, as Hotspot hasn't been able to shake him quite yet. Back over to AE Daltoni, and AE's trying to get the position back on Jinnit here. It's a really good run. Now he's in the slipstream. He's going to get alongside him. He's got some crazy pace here on Jinnit. Is he going to get a full car length ahead? Looks like he will. Jinnit's going to try and outbrake him, but AE just had the full car position but now gets a little bit too much of a drift around that final turn, and ooh, Jinnit nearly loses it as well, but what he does lose is 12th position as AE Daltonian moves up. Hotspot and Fit, Menace in the pit as well. Kenny and HSVDT are going to go back in a battle here for this final position in the top 10. We are about to be through 9 laps here, at least the majority of the field. Jacko's in a race of his own, as you can't even see him in the straight stretch if you're in second place now. Closest battle is actually just a couple positions back here, as Jinnit and AE are going to continually battle this out, as AE's kind of proved himself to be a half-decent wet weather racer here. Jinnit gets a little bit of a tap on the inside wall, turn 23, right alongside that wall is somewhat of a nerve-wracking final turn, as you got to get right tight up on the wall, similar to the Wall of Champions back in Canada. Now HSVDT is looking to close the gap. Chunky Corgi. Oh, and no, Jinnit to win it. Gets position over AE with AE spinning out. As well, it gets overtaken by Tim Lee for 13th place. So Tim Lee starting off real hot here. So now falling all the way back in that 13th. We'll see if it's going to stay there. It's at yes. Looks like he got Money Matt there. Money Matt seemingly spun out there. Now HSVDT is going to work on Chunky Corgi. Chunky is not going to be able to defend the inside line, as HS is right alongside him. Kenny has fallen back in that fight a little bit here. HS has the inside line. We'll get right on with Kenny and see if Kenny... Ooh, Kenny nearly hits Chunky Corgi, but is able to brake just in time here. A racing line... A clear racing line, sorry, has been formed, and Kenny was trying to take it, but unfortunately Chunky Corgi seemingly blocked it as he got overtaken by HSVDT for 7th. Kenny now in 9th, Chunky in 8th. Over to Garrett's back. He's going to look to try and get into the top 10 as well. One of the few drivers, actually, what am I saying, one of the few drivers? One of the many drivers to a pit, other than Jacko and JC. Jinnit, trying to work on Garrett's back. Coming around what was turn 18. Oh, my apologies, that was turn 20. Kenny's gotten right beside Chunky, but Chunky's got the inside line. Kenny's going to send it all the way around the outside into turn 1. He's got the inside line now into turn 2. Chunky's right beside him. Chunky's going to try and stay along with him, but Kenny's got the shorter way around that big looping right-hander, and he's going to take 8th position, and he's going to try and hunt down HSVDT and see if he can get back into that battle and get an overtake done on him. Now Jinnit trying to get a good run out. 3 DRS sections here, but none are being used, of course, with the rain. Looks like it's letting up a little bit, but the track is going to continually stay wet. Menace doing the best he can to make it difficult for Jinnit to win it, to overtake. See if we can get a good run out of here. Out of turn 9, now Jinnit's got a good run as well. He's trying to reach into that slipstream. Of course, there's no DRS. It's going to make it a little bit harder. He's getting some real speed, but I think the straight is running out here. We're going to come into turn 11. And Menace is still going to hold on to 10th here. Chunky's not falling too far back of Kenny here. And actually HSVDT has caught Tier the Tier and was kind of thinking about maybe a move around the outside of turn 21, but not going there. Turn 22, Tier the Tier's got the lead into the final turn with lap 11. Or maybe that's actually lap 10. lap 10 for them. Now off to lap 11, HSVDT is going to try and look at the inside line, but tier the tier just simply has the pace. As well as HSVDT looking at tier now and seeing 5th place right ahead of him. Tier 2's got some pretty solid straight line pace, but HSVDT is in the slipstream, and now tier kind of pinches him off ever so slightly, and HSVDT's gonna drift. He's gonna save the wing. Waits for Kenny to pass as well as a bunch of other drivers, and safely does bring himself back on track, but unfortunately, and unluckily, I gotta add as well, as he did not deserve to snow like that. Drops all the way back from 6th to 12th. He's gonna have to try and rework himself back in the top 10. Quite a few quick drivers ahead of him. It's gonna be a real tough accomplishment, but a feat that he surely is able and capable of doing. So I'd like to see some moves done from that man there. Right now, we're on the battle for 8th place. Chunky completely misses his braking line there. Now back into 9th place. Thought he may be under pressure from Menace, but is able to regain. Chunky's actually really under pressure from HSVDT, and Chunky actually gets overtaken, so HSVDT moves up 1 position and is trying to regain back up in 7th. Now this is, of course, this feature race of the 2 races tonight. Following this will be the sprint race. Maybe we'll get some dry weather, and oh, Menace gets a little bit of the wall, and Menace is really going to open up that position now for 9th, and Garrett's back sees blood. Oh, Ray got disconnected, unfortunate, man. Now HS sees 10th place as well, with Garrett's back pushing Menace wide. Menace now kind of opens up the door for HS, and HS is going to try and work himself back into 9th place. But Menace does a very good job of holding on to that racing line and keeping some solid pace around turn 2, 3, and 4. Oh, but there we go. HSVDT does a lovely job of just squeezing right through that gap that Menace so barely even opened, as the door was creaking open, and HSVDT slammed it open and said, give me back 9th place, I'm working my way back into 7th. Getting through that turn that, of course, spun out earlier on. Menace sees a little bit of a gap, trying to squeeze through it, but HSVDT has the pace around. He's going to sling back into 9th place. Going to try and actually get into 8th. It's a really good run, and now Garrett's back is in trouble. Oh, that was actually a lovely little view there, but unfortunately they got cut short. HS and Garrett's back are wheel to wheel. Garrett's back has got the inside line, but will HSVDT be able to get it done the old-fashioned way? We'll get right on board with Menace, actually. Menace is going to have a pretty good view of these two, and HS is going to send it right around the outside, and the Garrett's back is going to have to slot back into 9th place. The battle for 8th is still underway. HSVDT holds on to 8th, and Menace kind of gets a little bit too excited and just sends it a little bit too deep into what is turn 13. He's going to fall back, but still not too far out of range. Chunky Korg is somewhat fallen out now, 3 seconds between him and Menace. HSVDT has got 5 seconds to try and close between him and Jinnit, which is going to be a real tough go, as Jinnit is a very solid driver there. Jacko has got a 45-second lead. I haven't honestly been looking at that gap for the longest time, and rightfully so. It's just never been increasing. 45 seconds between 1st and 2nd. Money Matt sitting in 3rd. Kenny, the 2 Carlins, with his teammate JC Blackley in 5th and 6th. Both are trying to work themselves around that big looping right-hander. And both are trying to get a little bit heavy on the gas to get as much pace as they possibly can, but it's a tough task with the rain here at Hanoi. Jinnit is also looking at 5th and 6th position right in the eyes there. Maybe he can work something between these two Carlins. Kenny, of course. Actually, I can't say that now. Last season, I could easily say that Kenny is a quicker driver between the two teammates, but as it stands, JC Blackley is actually leading in the Driver Championship between the two teammates, and of course, two friends. So, a friendly rivalry between those two for sure, but JC Blackley has really shown us some solid quality stuff here as Season 2 has gone on. And Kenny's got a point to prove, as Kenny's going to look at the inside line, going to try and outbrake his teammate, gets alongside of him, and gets a lovely pass, and JC does concede the position, and Jinnit is trying to get back close to him, but JC Blackley and Kenny are going to try and work away. Oh, JC actually spots an inside line, and he's going to tap his teammate. I think he broke a little bit late and tried to turn his misjudged braking point into an attempt to pass, and tapped his teammate during the endeavor. Now Kenny is going to surely drive away here with JC Blackley taking a little bit of wing damage in that collision. Not going to pit though. He's going to make Jinnit go around the outside. Now Jinnit is alongside and has to kind of cut the corner, and they get real tight along the wall here. And Jinnit's not going to try and send it around the final turn. Instead, gives JC enough room to send it around the outside, not hitting the wall, and now JC's got the lead into turn 1, but misses his braking point and slides a little bit through it. And now Jinnit is going to try and go around the inside line. Now, of course, on a driveway, their outside line usually is the way to go, as you can kind of turn back and cut this final turn, which JC Blackley did, but we've seen quite a few times here that holding that inside line all the way through gives you the ability to get the position done, and I think Jinnit put the pedal to the floor ever so slightly too early, and now you see HSVDT rip past him, as well as Garrisvac, and Jinnit moves down the line. So HSVDT is 5.5 seconds between the two Carlins. It doesn't look like that is going to change, and Jinnit also loses a position to Menace now into 10th place. How much of damage is on that wing, I'm not sure. He definitely hit it, but it didn't look like it hit too hard, and I think I can only see a little bit of damage to the right side there. Oh, there you go, Chunky Corgi gets a little bit of drifting. If he held that all the way through, that would have been sick. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to, and he taps the wall and collects himself back out for 12th place. And as I was distracted by the drift, Jinnit is working on Menace now. See what battle is to come into this turn. Is Jinnit going to be able to outbrake him with a little bit of a damaged wing? He's going to try and get alongside him. He does. Kind of forces Menace to take the long way around, and Jinnit gets back up into 9th place, and Menace now drops into 10th. Ooh, and Menace once again misjudging a turn. Maybe getting his timing ever so slightly messed up with the rain, but I mean, we're 15 laps deep in this thing. I imagine he'd have it figured out by now. Jacko nearly has moved that gap up to a minute. He's working on trying to lap a Daltonian. Garris can see HSVDT in 7th place. The two Primas are going to score some solid points once again, are going to continually open up that gap. I'll slide over into the Constructors' Championship and take a quick peek at that. Prima sits with 615 points. Art is second with 442 points. The difference between 1 and 2 is astronomical. Carlin sits with 378. Trident with 346. I think I did an point standing. That's on me. It is what it is. But if you like what you see, make sure you shoot us a follow. We very much appreciate everyone that does. This is halfway point of Season 2. Hanoi has kind of given us a difficult day, to say the least, but Garrisvac and Jinnit's winning are going to maybe battle it out. Jacko is on the final lap. Everyone that is behind him, so I believe that's A. Daltonian, is as well on his final lap. A bunch of these drivers all the way up to Spaceman is going to have one more trip around, if he can of course have the pace to hold off Jacko. Doing a solid job so far, and Jenna looks to have lost a whole second somewhere. But with it being wet, get that right back as long as the mistake from the driver ahead. Jacko has moved that gap to a full minute now. So through 16 laps, Jacko's been able to open up a gap of a minute between him and ZGS. Money Matt as well has not pitted in this entire race and is trying to make up the gap into second place, but it looks like ZGS has been able to hold him off since he initially passed him all those laps ago. Get stops. Oh yeah, what am I doing? There we go. So Jacko is going to go the entire race without a pit. And that's where that big time change between first and second is the no pit is... What is going on with Matt there? Hotspot. Oh, is Hotspot out of fuel? I think he is, and I think Money Matt is as well. Yeah, Money Matt's out of fuel, so that's going to get Kenny surely a podium here. Two drivers out of fuel. Jacko over the line with the win. ZGS, as long as he has fuel left, is going to come over in second. But there you go. Kenny's going to get an easy pass on Money Matt. Hotspot as well falling down the grid. Tier to tier Spaceman, A. Daltonian, 12, 13, 14. Oh no, Money Matt as well gets overtaken by JC Blackley. HSVDT the next two as well. Jinnit surely will, as you can see all these drivers ahead of him overtaking, and the amount of time he's making up on Money Matt. Is the Garris Vac out of fuel as well? The Garris Vac's out of fuel, all three of these drivers. So both Arts, one high tech, all running out of fuel. Menace as well out of fuel. Chunky Corgi into 10th. Chunky Corgi can get it all the way up to 6th potentially. Or is this Jinnit? Jinnit's out of fuel. Let's get on with Chunky Corgi and see what he's going to be able to do here. Okay, up in the 9th. He's got Hotspot up next. HSVDT is going to try and work into 4th place. Kenny's looking to come over the line in 3rd. Can HS get an overtake in the final turn? He gets right alongside JC. Oh, JC Blackley runs out of fuel as well. Okay, back over to Chunky Corgi here. Chunky's got Hotspot. Hotspot lets him go through. He can't hold him off. It looks like Jinnit's going to come over. Yes, he will. And does Chunky Corgi runs out of fuel? Oh my god. Does Menace have fuel? Menace has no fuel. No one has any fuel. All the guys left on the grid have no fuel. Wow. Oh, what the heck? Oh, Hotspot. Hotspot's gonna pass with no fuel. Hotspot can still overtake on the final turn on Chunky Corgi without any fuel. What the... Oh, there you see the Garris Vac about to come over the line for 10th place. Menace in 11th. Wow. HSVDT and JC Blackley were battling into the final turn until JC Blackley had nothing left to give. By nothing left, I mean he was on low fuel mode, as well was Money Matt Jinnit to win it. So from 5th to 11th, all those drivers ran out of fuel. JC, Jinnit, Money Matt, Hotspot, Chunky, the Garris Vac, as well as Menace, all ran out of fuel. Wow. That was completely unexpected. That's funny. Oh, you love to see it. That was weird. That was weird. Oh god. Well, we got our finish here. Jacko's got his win. Was that Michael Schumacher? I looked away for a second. I feel like someone was Michael Schumacher's character. But there you go. You see Jacko, ZGS, and Kenny. Jacko getting another podium here. ZGS getting his second, I think it is. I'm not too sure. There's quite a bit of results to scan through to be sure. Kenny, I think this may be his first podium of the year of F1, or of Season 2 for F2. He was having a real rough Season 2, so it's good to see him back on the podium. HSVDT works himself back up into the 4th after that spin earlier on. JC Blackley in 5th, the 2nd Carlin Jinnit to win at 6th, Money Matt 7th, Hotspot 8th, Chunky Corgi, along with his fellow Canadian Gareth Vac in 9th and 10th, Menace going 11th, Cheer the Tier going 12th, Spaceman 13th, A. Daltonian 14th, Tim Lee, after starting off so well, unfortunately, is going to collect 15th, but finishing ahead of his teammate in 78 Corvette in 16th. Primitive is going to go 17th, and a DNF going all the way from 18th to 21th, starting with Super Ninas, actually starting with Ray, who unfortunately disconnected. It's heavy, and spin and win, as well as Super Ninas. Couldn't get anything really going as his connection wasn't his friend this evening. We're gonna wait until we can get through here. But of course, those points aren't exactly the way that we do it in the Midwest F1 League. Wonder what is going on. What? Might have to make a new lobby here. I believe it glitched, yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, alright. I just had to wait for the lobby to... Alright. Well, this has been a weird one tonight, to say the least. I've been kind of along the ride, but we're going to get right back into proceedings here, into the sprint race. Dry weather in Hanoi, so we'll get a quicker race, as well as a cleaner one. Who is that in the first? Is that Jeanette? No, it's Hotspot. Jeanette's in third, Benny Matt's in second, HSVDT as well as Jacko in fifth and eighth. We'll get on board with Jacko. I miss him. Jacko's going to try and hold the outside line as ZGS looks to just send it. Chunky Corgi is not going to be able to make a move. Tier gets overtaken by Primitive, as well as Tier nearly gets overtaken by It's Heavy. A little bit of bumping going on there, and It's Heavy gets 13th place, and Primitive hits the wall. Jeanette to win it, loses out quite a few positions. Must have made some contact as well. Chunky as well gets overtakes. Jeanette misjudges and smacks the corner, and we got a VSC off the get-go here. Taking a peek at the position changes. Garrett's back is up 6 spots, JC up 1, Kenny up 1, Hotspot and Money Matt hold their position. Chunky actually overtaking both Primas, going into 6th place. ZGS unfortunately losing out a couple positions as HSBDT. Jacko holding on to the position. Menace, Primitive, and It's Heavy moving up the order with Primitive moving up 6th, It's Heavy moving up 8th. Tier and Spaceman missing out of position. Daltonium down 2. Super Ninas up 1, Raid up 3, 878 Corvette unfortunately down 4, and Jeanette to win it, crashing out early on. Not what he was hoping for. VSC is surely going to end pretty quick, and yes it does, but a bunch of drivers pick up. Drive-through penalties actually by a bunch, I mean just 1 and 2, and Money Matt is just going to take it right now. And that's going to hurt Hotspot and Money Matt real big, and Kenny's going to try and send it on the inside line of Garrett's back, and Garrett's back is able to hold on and not let it go of 4th place. Of course, Money Matt serving that drive-through penalty, and now Kenny getting right alongside. He's back into turn 1. Garrett switches back on Kenny. Lovely little stuff there. Now Kenny back into 4th place, but Kenny has got the inside line all the way around the swooping right-hander, and is going to force Garrett all the way around the outside, and Kenny's got the inside line. And Garrett's back into 4th place. Chunky now looking to make a move, but nothing going there quite yet. Garrett's back is going to try and get back onto the podium, has the inside line, is going to break Kenny and force him to do a switchback now, and Kenny tries to do a little bit of a slalom switchback, but Garrett's going to hold on to position. Jacko and Chunky are battling ZGS, as well as going to try and make a move on his teammate. Once again, Kenny's going to try and come back with Garrett's back, as these guys are wheel to wheel coming down this long straight stretch into a right-hander. And actually, they look to be making up a little bit of ground on JC Blackley, and Kenny's going to have to somewhat cut that turn to get the position done. does HS spin out? Yes, he does. HS gets pushed down the grid. Again, ZGS is going to try and work on his teammate here, but Chunky kind of cuts the corner ever so slightly here. Kenny's going to try and come back to Garrett's back, because both Kenny and the Garrett's back have made up ground on JC. JC's going to be under pressure real quick. Hotspot is going to serve that drive-through penalty now. Kenny's able to take the proper racing lines through these late slaloms here, and ZGS and Chunky are going to battle the two MP teammates. Come around the final turn and switching positions from where they were before. Kenny is still trying to work on the Garrett's back, and a little bit of lag going on there with Jacko, unfortunately. Now Jacko's actually got the inside line on Kenny there. DRS is open for Kenny, doesn't look like it is for Jacko. able to be done quite yet. Kenny's doing quite the job to be able to focus through the lagging car ahead. Menace losing out some positions there. Hotspot trying to gain one up again after the drive-through penalty. Money Matt looks to get an overtake on Primitive there. Oh, AE Daltonian, Money Matt, or sorry, AE Daltonian Primitive come together, and looks like AE accidentally spins out Primitive. That's not what you want to see. But the Garrisvac and JC are working for first place here. The two drivers are wheel to wheel now, about to come into turn 13. JC's got the car length ahead, misses his braking point. Now the Garrisvac might be able to come right back at him, but through the slalom it's very tough to get two cars going wheel to wheel through the entire thing, and Garrisvac just opts out not to. And looks like Garris actually gets knocked from behind from Jacko there. And a safety car is out for what reason exactly? Who spun out? Chunky Corgi gets his teammate back. Actually, ZGS gets it. Drive-through penalty for Chunky Corgi. That hurts. That hurts. Hotspot Menace in the pit. An oddly timed safety car here. Yeah, JC, it's like a line from a movie. You're probably wondering how I got here. You see that guy in first place? Yeah, that's me. How I got there? I have no clue. But it's quite the story. Be sure to tune in to the entire broadcast / video if you're watching on YouTube. Be sure to check out how I, JC Blackley, ended up leading a race here in Hanoi in the F2 series with my teammate Kenny sitting in fourth. It's a wild ride, and one that can only be witnessed if you're watching the entire video. So like I said, be sure to go check out JC Blackley's story on how he ended up in first place with 4 laps. On YouTube, as well as check it out on Twitch if you'd like to watch past broadcasts. Him and Garris got together and he hit the wall. Chunky's actually in pit a little bit late here. Some penalties. Chunky with the drive-through, but I think he's serving that right now. Jacko and ZGS, 3rd and 5th, both with 5-second penalties. Kenny, 4th, with a 3-second penalty. HSVDT, 6th with none, so be sure to watch out for that. Over to tires here. The top 4 all with mediums. ZGS opted for the softs. And then going from 6th all the way to 14th are mediums, with Hotspot having brand new mediums, and all the other drivers that did pit other than Menace, as well as this heavy, down to 20th, all opted for the softs, with that being Tiffany, Chunky, Primitive, and Spaceman. So a very
medium heavy lineup as we hear. Imagine we're going to have the safety car in this lap. It'd be nice to see safety cars off the get-go, especially ones that are undeserving, extremely poor. When every driver is on the grid and is doing fine. But quickly, while the drivers finish up, second to 3, we'll get your daily NHL games. The night Montreal Canadiens lose out to the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2 as Toronto goes to 11-2-1 on the season. Are those only 2 losses to the Oilers? I think they are. I'm not sure about the overtime. Montreal falling to 8-3-2. Toronto's looking to really stamp their hold on this division. Boston Bruins getting an overtime winner to defeat the New York Rangers 3-2. If you're a fan of Call of Duty World League, that starts up tomorrow, Thursday evening. I sure as heck am, so I'm ready for that one. Actually, Thursday afternoon, depending on where you are. Once again, be sure to tune back in tomorrow night for our Division League racing with Division 1. As a couple of these drivers that do race in Division 1 are going to have to do a small trek over to China, which is, in a lot of people's opinion, an underrated circuit on kind of how fun it is. It's your typical 2 long straight stretches, a bunch of a technical section and passing opportunities type course, but a fun one that is somewhat of a similar layout. I guess not a similar layout. I was going to say a similar layout here in Vietnam, but not too close, but not too far off. So we'll be in China tomorrow night with Division 1, so be sure to check out all the divisions tomorrow night. Or actually, sorry, all the divisions through our YouTube channel. Tomorrow night you can see it live through, of course, this channel. And we have a couple of similar divisions there, so that's not too easy. We're going to go back live here. 6 full laps are going to be left. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 more laps. Will JC Blackley be able to hold off the Garris Vac? And the Garris Vac, of course, is the lead commentator in the Hyper Series Rainbow Six League, which we, of course, have a team that represents us there, so go check that out if you're into Rainbow Six. Garris Vac does a very good job of setting up that league. A lot of chaos happens, so, but a lot of good, fun Rainbow Six also happens as well. JC's going to come to the final turn here. He's not really going to try and juke out anyone here. Back to green racing. Kenny thinking about a move on Jacko. Jacko defends. And now Kenny is forced to just slot in behind. A Daltonian looks to get an overtake on his teammate Tier the Tier, but he's still in the pause menu. Menace gets a nice little overtake on Spin and Win there. Hotspot looking to come at Ray here. Kenny, spins out and gets overtaken. He's going to come back out on track in 5th place. Now HSVDT works himself back up into 4th. Garris back looking for a position change here. Now he's going to put JC Blackley under pressure. JC is going to still hold on to first. Now he's going to just defend the inside line. Jacko as well gets along the inside and gets a little bit of tap on JC. And Jacko tries to go for a switchback to work himself back into first, which it looks like he does.
JC now back in second with Jacko getting a double overtake. And the yellow flag back a couple turns ago as it looks like one of the cars is, I think that's Tim Lee. So push down HSBDT, or sorry, that's Kenny getting an overtake for fifth there. HS is going to try and come at the Garris back. He's going to brake late, and Garris is going to give him room. They do a little bit of a tap. Not really, the room was there for HS the whole time. Garris did a good job of giving him space, but kind of closed it at the end of it all. Menace overtakes AE, final turn. Nearly hits the wall in doing so, but is able to keep everything steady. HS is going to try and come back at the Garris back. It's a really good run, and he's going to surely get an easy overtake, able to just barely avoid him. This is the final lap without DRS, and then we will have a little bit of a battle between the other two drivers for the final position in the podium here. HS is going to continually try and work on the Garris back. Here's JC is slotted back into second place. Here we go, HSVDT is going to try and get on the podium. Got alongside. Both virtually time each other on the brake, but HS has the inside line, gets a little bit too much of the curb and doesn't have the traction coming out of the turn. And Garris is going to be able to hold on. Back in the pack there. Yes, it's heavy. It looks like he overtakes. And Spin and Win and Ray are actually battling it. This Ray's got the inside line, but Spin and Win is going to send it around the outside. He's going to try and hold on. Both are still wheel-to-wheel racing here. It looks like Spin and Win is going to hold off for that position here. Now Spaceman's under pressure. AE, Spaceman trying to hold back for 12th place. We're going to jump up into the battle for the final podium position here. So Garris Vac is once again going to be under pressure from HSVDT, as well as JC's Blackley. Second and a half lead is surely closed. ZGS is under pressure as well from the Dams driver of Money Matt. Go HSVDT has got DRS, but the slipstream is just not enough for him to get on the back of Garris back, maybe going to the next DRS section, there. But now JC kind of goes a little bit wide. He's going to open up that door, but Money Matt shoots the inside line on ZGS. He's got the better tires for the situation. The Super Ninas does a nice little job of snapping through that position there into 7th place, and ZGS with the older soft, so we're just going to have to drop down the order here. Now Spin and Win, it's going to go around the outside and returns back to the inside on this big looping left-hand turn on AE Daltonian as he's right alongside the wall, and AE is forced to give way. And JC Blackley does get overtaken. It hits the wall and hits the wall once again. And I'm not sure what happened with HSVDT there. I think he just sat back and watched it happen as HS didn't get the overtake, but JC Blackley is without a wing. Heavy yellow flag as that ZGS spun out. No, that's not what you want to see. Quite unfortunate from ZGS after picking up a podium. He was kind of looking at doing the double, but wasn't much of an option there. JC's trying to hold off HSVDT, but JC Blackley with no wing is just not going to be able to do so. And JC doesn't pit as well, which is an odd choice here. He's going to be overtaken quite easily by his teammate. Now Money Matt way fall under some pressure from Super Ninas here, but that straight stretch into turn 1 is not quite long enough. Now Jacko, of course, sitting with that 5-second penalty, so Garris Vac may be able to get an overtake here. With only 2 laps to go. Hotspot is going to try and work on Super Ninas, but Super Ninas kind of blocks off his momentum there. And both getting DRS.
doesn't look like Hotspot's going to be able to jump into 8th. Of course, Hotspot holding a penalty as well, so it's going to be a little bit of an anchor on his finishing position. It's Heavy, Ray, and Eddie Daltonian still battling it out back down the grid a little bit there. But oh, there we go. Hotspot actually does get an overtake for Super Ninas there. Now Super in 8th. He gets a really good run. He's got the right side, which is going to be the outside line into turn 11. He's got DRS, so he's got a full car ahead of him now in 7th place. Hotspot back in 8th. JC a second back of his teammate, doing a pretty solid job. Seeing so he doesn't have a freaking wing, but not too bad for the Carlin driver not wanting to give up. 3.5 second gap sits between him and Money Matt. Money Matt seems to be closing that, so we'll have to see. Now this is where the no wing is going to absolutely kill him. As there you see, Money Matt's already taken off a 2.5 seconds. We'll be able to see JC kind of limping his car around grid. No wing, and Money Matt's going to get an overtake surely done fairly soon here on JC Blackley. He is no downforce in that front side is going to make it real tough for him. He nearly hits the wall coming on the final turn. And Money Matt's got the DRS. JC goes and defends the inside line. Money Matt's not going to make a move here, but he does go for the switchback to get alongside JC on board with Super Ninas. Super Ninas can see the battle for 6th place still going on. JC's got the inside line. Hotspot sends it as well, getting a double overtake. Money Matt forced to cut the turn as his position was given up, as now he's down into 7th place, trying to get back over. Oh, and kind of smacks the wall, trying to get back over to the outside line. And now Super Ninas overtakes Money Matt. Money Matt now down into 8th. Let's stay on board with the driver in the back of the pack here. Actually, we'll jump over to Hotspot here and see if Hotspot's going to be able to get an overtake done on JC fairly soon here. The Garris Vac currently sits 4 seconds back at Jacko, so if the race were to end right now, Garris Vac would take the win. There you go. Hotspot gets the overtake on JC Blackley now into 5th. Quite a few penalties are going to change this whole thing up when it finishes, but JC and Hotspot are battling still. JC not wanting to give way with that penalty, or sorry, with no wing. And now Kenny overtakes HSVDT as HS has ran out of fuel. Oh no, that's not what you see. Oh my god, I didn't even think about the fuel. Who's going to run out of fuel here? Super Ninas is trying to get an overtake on JC Blackley. Looks like he's going to. Jacko comes over the line, 1st place, but with the penalty, Garris Vac is going to jump up into 1st. HSVDT is dropping down the grid, but no penalty. Might change up quite a few things. Super Ninas might jump up ahead of Hotspot here for 4th place. He surely does. HSVDT comes over the line, but in 6th. Money Matt in 7th. JC Blackley in 8th. Menace in 9th. Spaceman. Oh, as Primitive runs out of fuel as well. Spaceman looks like he's going to get 10th. Oh no, no more fuel for him as well. Spin and win. Can Spin and win get the overtake? Spaceman's about to come over the line. Yes, he does. Spin and win at 11th. Yes, he will collect 11th place. Daltonian and Primitive having it to the finish. Oh my god, he gets it done. Primitive falls down the grid after some penalties. And oh Jesus, that's so funny. Everyone's run out of fuel here. Wow. Tim Lee's going to jump up into 15th after the penalty for Primitive. It looks like he's collected quite a few. And a couple drivers left to finish here. Oh, jeez. ZGS smokes his teammate Chunky Corky. Okay, 78 Corvette's going to come over. Oh, and ZGS DNFs. Chunky Corgi, once again with no fuel, is going to finish up this race, but as it stands, we got Garris Vac 1, Jacko 2, Kenny 3. So Kenny and Jacko doing a double podium, Garris Vac getting his win here in Hanoi. Unfortunately, ZGS was not able to do a double podium as well, so we can get a complete double up, but not today, as the Garris Vac says, hey, I want a race win, so he just rips it away from Jacko on the final lap, as unfortunately Jacko happened to
or having the 5-second penalty push from first into second. So still a double podium from him, but Kenny actually gets the double podium as well. Sorry, so I kind of was drawing a blank there. Nice little selfie to celebrate for the Garrett's Vac. Kenny, you can see, getting the double third place, I think it was. A bunch more points for Primus that are going to continually open up that lead. Art actually getting the constructor for the sprint race. But I'll go run through the order, and that'll be about it here for the Midwest F1 League. We kind of ran a little bit late today with all the chaos in the first race, but we'll go through what is the sprint race, and I'll go through the feature race quite quickly. But we got the Garrett's Vac finishing with the win, Jacko coming second, Kenny coming third, podium, Super Ninas getting a solid fourth place, Hotspot getting fifth, HSVDT getting sixth. Unfortunately losing out of fuel there, so he would have came over with third place, I believe. Money Matt 7th, JC Blackley 8th, Menace 9th, Spaceman going rounding out the top 10. Spin and Win is going to get 11th, A. Daltonian 12th, Ray 13th, It's Heavy 14th, Tim Lee 15th, Primitive 16th, 78 Corvette 17th, Chunky Corgi 18th, a lap behind is ZGS. Tudor Tier getting 20th, so he's going to get points as well actually, and Janet's Win it coming 21st. And we'll kind of rip through the feature race as well, with Jacko getting the win, of course, ZGS second, and Kenny getting his first of 2 podiums, as well as Jacko getting his first of 2 podiums. HSVDT, the second Prima guy there, in 4th place. JC Blackley 5th place, Jenna Twin at 6th. Money Matt 7th, Hotspot 8th, Chunky Corgi 9th, Garrett's Vac 10th, Menace 11th, Tier 12, Spaceman 13th, A. Daltonian 14th, Tim Lee 15th, 78 Corvette in 16th, Primitive 17th, Super Ninas, Spin and Win, It's Heavy, Ray DNFing. I guess I'll quickly go through the fastest lap, but that'll come up here. Jacko getting a 2:03.845 fastest lap in the feature race, and then it'll be a completely different story here as Jacko once again, of course, getting fastest, or not of course getting fastest lap, but getting fastest lap, but 13 seconds quicker than the fastest lap from the first race. So very good races all around from everyone here. I believe the lobby's glitched, so we're just gonna call it here. I have been Crash with Queen. Be sure to come check me out tomorrow along with my good friend Stat on our Thursday night Division 1 series racing. That's where we kind of, all the big boys come up to play, so you're going to see some high quality racing there. Not that saying that the F2 was low quality, but we got a lot of more consistent high quality racers in that Division 1 series. Now be sure to come and hang out with us tomorrow, as well as if you'd like to watch the Div 2 or the Div 3, check it out on our YouTube channels. We appreciate it very much. But like I said, I have been Crash McQueen. This has been Midwest F1 League, and we will hopefully see you tomorrow.